If you want your mind to do this, you're gonna wanna listen to this. We got an update from the PBO office on the impact from the fuel surcharge. No one takes the time to read these reports in its entirety. Then you get someone like me that comes around. I'm a data guy. This is my cup of tea. I got a couple clips and then I got some data to share with commentary. Let's go.
Showed that 60% of Canadians pay more in the carbon tax than they get back in rebates. 100% of middle-class Canadians lose out.
So now's the time to clear the air on Pierre Poilievre's big lie to Canadian. He's been misleading Canadian. The PBO is very clear. More Canadians get money back from the Canada carbon rebate than what they pay.
But once we include the economic impacts, then the average household is worse off with the fuel charge than without.
Okay.
We relied on the government's own estimate of the economic impact. Now we have additional data, we have modeling from Environment and Climate Change Canada, and that does not include the output-based pricing system, which is a cost that every one of us will have to pay.
Right, but
Get this! The people that are trying to sell us the carbon tax that 8 out of 10 Canadians are better off are also the people that send the data sets to the PBO office to come up with this report. Oh my... You literally cannot make any of this stuff up. The PBO office is not unbiased at all because they're using the numbers that are provided to them by our government. And our government is providing them the details on how much our economy is going to be affected by the carbon tax. This is the same government that won't release the documents to the Green Slush Fund, which was found to have funneled $400 million into their own companies with 186 conflicts of interest. And no documents have been handed over because there'll be surely many with jail time, and it will be a complete destruction of the Liberal Party. It gets much worse because even with the numbers that have now been provided, and they're all in question, in my opinion, Canadians are worse off with the carbon tax than without the carbon tax provided in the PBO report. You literally can't make any of this stuff up. We knew that the carbon tax was crippling our economy. Just look at our GDP per capita. And Canadians make 50% less than our US counterparts. And the US is not doing any of this carbon pricing, and they're actually reducing their emissions at a faster pace than we are in Canada. So now that we see this report, if you still think you're getting more back than you're paying, then you're definitely visiting one of JT's dispensaries. We are currently seeing a record surge in business closures, and the trend just continues to get worse. Do you think that things are going to get better as they continue to raise the carbon taxes year over year? Or are these businesses going to go to the US and do their business where they charge absolutely zero carbon taxes? Oh, and it gets way worse. By year 2030, this whole thing, the imposing of so many carbon taxes and crushing our economy, is only going to lower carbon emissions in Canada by 1.8%. That means if we only represent 1.5% of total global emissions, and we're only reducing our emissions by 1.8% of the 1.5%, we're still at 1.5% of total global emissions. And that is why I said your thing is gonna go boom. It's actually unbelievable. You need to share this with every single person you know, because Canadians need to know the truth about this entire thing. I'm gonna end with the data set so that you can take a look for yourself. We are going backwards in Canada. It's time for change. In the report, it states that by year 2030, the carbon tax is estimated to reduce emissions by 13 million tons. Here are our current carbon emissions. Current emissions divided by the future emissions reductions, and you get 1.8%. And 1.8% of 1.5%, you're still at 1.5%. But the one thing the carbon tax is going to do is reduce the amount of tax revenue collected because of the reduction in your paycheck. tax. The highlighted line is the amount of money in billions the government is losing in tax revenue because of the loss of economic activity. $4 billion going poof by year 2030. This next chart shows how much money people are gaining or losing per year. The highlighted section represents 60% of Canadians that will be worse off because of the carbon tax, and 100% of the middle class is found in the highlighted section. Our economy will be 100% negatively affected by the carbon tax year over year. This report does not even consider the cumulative destruction of our economic loss. And that's a boom. Thanks for watching.